Today I'd like to talk about American Revolution. First, here are some pictures that are the symbol of American Revolution: the battles and the flag of United States, and the picture of the Declaration of Independence. The first part, I'd like to talk about the background. At that time, as we know, the British was under the domination of George III, and he made British really the most powerful country at that time, and the British had many colonies all over the world, including the original 13 colonies in America. However, during the domination of British, some conflict appeared between colonists and the British. In 1760s, the British Army engaged two wars: the 7 Years' War and the French and the Indian War. These two wars drained the British treasury, so they decided to take some money from their colonies, and George III decided to add tax and published the Stamp Act. These two decisions gave colonies really high pressure, and worsened the relationship between. Okay, finally the colonists decided to react, and they expressed their discontent. In Boston, two main events happened. The first is the Boston Massacre, and the second was Boston Tea Party. After these two events occurred, the conflict worsened, and some representatives finally the representatives published the Declaration of Independence and declared that they will establish an independent country. Here are some main leaders at that time. The first one is George Washington, who was the first president of the United States and the leader of the army. The second person was Thomas Jefferson, who wrote the Declaration of Independence. The third person was James Madison, who played a really important role in the Constitution. The last one is Benjamin Franklin. He offered financial support for the American Army, and he was also a delegate in the Constitution. Okay, here are some overall situations before war began. As we know, the British Army is much more stronger than American Army because they are well trained, while the American Army had no time to practice. However, American colonists had their own advantages. They had great leaders, and they know better of their hometown. Besides, French supported them both military and financially. Here's the result of Independent War. In 1781, the British Army were finally defeated at Yorktown, and they had to surrender. 2 years later, British and American representatives signed the Treaty of Paris, and both of them declared the independence of United States. Here's the result after the independent war. First of all, American became as independent country, the United States, and George Washington became the first president in the world. The U.S. government is established a unique system at that time that they divided power into three branches, so the equilibrium can be reached. After all, they also accept the Bill of Rights. That means they means that everyone is equal and everyone has own natural rights. Okay, here's the conclusion. American Revolution succeeded and established the United States. It also created a completely new system of democratic government, which still works efficiently today. That's my presentation. Thank you for watching.